everybody. Welcome back. It is Monday, July 6th, 2026, and you are listening to episode 235 of Midnight Film Society. Your host, Damian Sherman. Joining me today, as always, is...
Derrick McDuff.
On today's show, the birthday weekend of the greatest country on earth just came and went. So did the latest Minions film. Instead, Derek and I will be discussing latest DCU film, they definitely not directed by James Gunn, Supergirl. But before that, we'll go over some movie and TV news, discuss more about what we're watching, finish up with the Letterboxd assignments. Right into the show, midnightfilmsociety@gmail.com, Midnight Film Pod on Instagram, Blue Sky, and Letterboxd. Subscribe on Pocket Cast, YouTube Podcasts, and Spotify. Rate and review it on Apple Podcasts. Tell a friend, family member, or stranger. What's up, dude? How we doing?
Doing well. Celebrated the semi-quincentennial.
Woo!
America, let's go.
America.
Democracy
Fuck
had
yeah.
a good run. 250 years.
250
That was
years.
fun.
Bow, wow. Yep. Yeah, I have fireworks near me. I live on the second floor, so I was able to just peek out my window and see the fireworks without having to leave my living room, which was pretty cool.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I live, within 10 minutes from Disneyland.
Yeah.
And also, I live in a very Hispanic area, and the World Cup has been going on. And Mexico was, until very recently, doing very well. So, I was like, oh, all right, fireworks again. Another day of the week.
Yeah. They do like their fireworks.
There's been a lot of great fireworks, and I've been having a lot of fun celebrating in downtown Santa Ana. Every time there was a Mexico game, it was a lot of fun. I had a blast.
Nice,
No
amazing. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, by watching people, I watch a lot of streamers that live in LA, so it's always fun to watch them. One of them went to one of the most recent ones. I think it was it Argentina and Brazil, or no? Who did Brazil play?
No,
Brazil and Denmark, right?
Yeah, Norway.
Norway, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that blonde dude that looks like a Viking, just to destroy people.
Exactly.
That was awesome. The extent of my sports watching is through Twitch and YouTube Shorts. That's about it.
Of course.
Of course it is. Speaking of competition, we got the summer movie wager, which we haven't really checked in on recently. So here we go. We're going to dive into it. We got about a month left in the, well, no, not about a month left, 2 months left in the summer movie wager season. Derek, how are you feeling about your picks this year?
Not great, if I am being honest. You know, there's some of these picks are not looking great in hindsight. The thing about it is, I think a lot of people have made, like, a lot of these movies are either underperforming or underperforming, and it's across a lot of people's lists, including yours and mine, are both in about the same shape. So, we'll see how it goes. Yeah,
I have 24 points as we're talking today. We're actually recording on the same day, so July 6th. You have 26 points. I have 24 points. We're sitting down the bottom of the Filmcast guys. David Chen is right between us with 25 points. Julian Lucier is 30. As does Devendra Hardawar. Jeff Canada is 31. Peter Sarda is 31. And BJ Colangelo up top with 42. The Secret of the Universe. He has 42 points.
Yeah, here's the thing about BJ Colangelo. He's currently getting 13 points from Masters of the Universe being in last place. He is about to lose all of those points because it's about to get surpassed by Minions and Monsters, which is only 2 million behind it. Yep. So then he'll be losing 13, and you'll be losing 3. I'll be losing 1 because it was a dark horse, but I'll be gaining a little bit more ground on you in the next day or two.
Yeah. Well, it's the thing that's pushing everything around and pushing things down is Obsession, the massive hit of the summer.
That and Backrooms.
That and Backrooms. Obsession is currently sitting at $245 million. That's just domestic. Backrooms 190. Backrooms is number 4. In between those is The Devil Wears Prada 2 at $220 million. Sitting top right now is Toy Story 5 with $366 million. As we speak today, they're having the Odyssey world premiere in Los Angeles, California. So that one's coming out on the 18th, the day before my birthday. So I'll be seeing that in LIMAX. probably the day after. Then I don't know if I announced it on the show, but I did get tickets for the Odyssey in real IMAX in one of the biggest screens in the country, the AMC Lincoln Square. I got tickets. I was like furiously refreshing the website on there to try to get tickets opening weekend, but I unfortunately had to settle for August 1st. So whatever. I don't know how the recording schedule will work out, but I believe I will see the recording this week and then the following week. So I'll probably we'll be potting the Monday after I see the Odyssey in real IMAX.
Yes, very nice. Yeah, I'm also seeing it opening night in LIMAX. And then on August 8th, so my birthday, I am also going to see it in one of the largest IMAX screens in the world, going down to the Universal Studios, Universal Theater. They're seeing it at the AMC there at their in 70 millimeter IMAX. Very excited to do that on my birthday. And then afterwards, you got to do it when you go to the City Walk. You see a movie in IMAX, and then you go to Margaritaville. WWJD. What would Jimmy do?
Exactly. I'm glad for you. I'm happy for you that you got this little nice. So how far is it from where you are to City Walk?
It depends on traffic.
Yeah.
If the traffic is if it's not bad traffic, and I think I've timed out that it shouldn't be too bad. It's about 45 minutes. With traffic being bad, though, it could be hours. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, you might have the same commute or same trip time as I do. Probably quite a bit less. They actually have like one of the only trains that leave anywhere near me. Like obviously the U.S.'s transportation infrastructure is horrendous compared to the rest of the world. But there's an Amtrak train that leaves in Hudson, New York. So we've taken that train down. It's about 2.5 hours down. So I'll be getting there in the afternoon, be walking around for a little bit. I'll see the movie at 6, and then it probably gets over around like 9:30, and I have to walk around for a couple hours before getting on the last train out of Brooklyn, out of wherever I'm seeing, Manhattan maybe. Getting the last train out of there at 11:30. So quite a long day, long trek for me that day.
Yeah. I'm gonna be doing some fun stuff at the City Walk, hanging out with my girlfriend, and probably grabbing some checking out the shops. They've got those Nintendo shops and the Universal shop down there at the City Walk. Checking that out before the movie, and then grabbing some birthday dinner with my girlfriend and parents. As I said, with Jimmy afterwards.
With Jimmy, yes. Nice. Can't wait.
Jimmy in spirit. His ghost lives at the City Walk one now, just FYI.
Keep an eye out on my socials, on my TikToks. I've been burning up the charts on the old TikToks over there. I'll be definitely making a bunch of videos when I get down there.
Very nice, yeah. Be good stuff. I should do some of that. I should get some of the content while I'm at the City Walk.
Should make the content. Do it up.
Everything's content now.
Everything is content. Everything is content. Let's look forward a little bit, because on the Big Pick they did their 2026 auction of movies that they want to see later this year, and they mentioned some things have been coming out in the last couple of months. Like I think we've mentioned when we were talking about most anticipated movies this year, there's always those movies that kind of come out of nowhere, where the trailer comes out or news comes out that was never heard of before, about movies that are coming out later this year. A lot of their draft was made up of stuff we've heard of before, but there was a couple on here I wanted to take your temperature and see how excited you were for these. Specifically, one called Whale Fall, movie about a guy that gets sucked into a whale. He
falls into a whale.
He falls into a whale. This is directed by Brian Duffield, who I enjoyed. I think you and I both enjoyed his last movie, No One Will Save You, from 2023. I thought
it was fine.
I thought it was fine, yeah. Caitlin Dever played a mute girl, I think, or deaf girl. I forget what her ailment was.
Think it was that nobody talked in the movie. I don't think it was ever addressed why.
Yeah. So I enjoyed that enough. He's coming out this year with Whale Fall, so it looks very interesting. I have the Letterboxd list I made on here. So we got some stuff that's known quantities, like Fjord. Werewolf is one I'm very excited for.
Werewolf.
That's coming to us, obviously, from the director of Dracula, from a couple years ago. Robert Eggers loves that dark, dreary, period appropriate, gothic, period appropriate garb on everybody. He's probably speaking some weird old English. Should be very exciting. Mm-hmm. Anything on here, Derek, you're particularly excited for?
I mean, I'm gonna watch Whalefall because that movie looks ridiculous. Like the trailer plays it like deadly serious. I'm like, I have to see this thing. This is something else. So that's the one I'm probably most just like, what even is this? So we'll see how that goes. Looking at this list, I mean, there's a couple things like, the Werewolf I'm excited for. And then you've got later down the list, you got Spider-Man Brand New Day and Clayface, a couple superhero movies. Really excited to see what they do with those. Yeah. But I think Werewolf might be my number one of these.
That's the big one, yeah. For the next topic, I do want to talk about like some of the prestige stuff. We have one out of Cannes that got a lot of praise, didn't get much awards, but got a lot of buzz, a lot of word of mouth. It's called La Bola Negra, which is the black ball, I believe is the translation of that. Got some really good word of mouth out of Cannes, so really excited for that one. Seems like I was watching. I got out halfway through a movie yesterday, and hopefully going to finish it tonight. It was called The Sound of Falling. It has one of my favorite posters I've seen in a very long time, and this movie seems very much like Sound of Falling. The synopsis is set across 3 timelines: Republican Spain in 1932, the Civil War in 1937, and contemporary Spain in 2017. The film follows a constellation of interconnected lives centered on 3 young men whose emotional and political echoes gradually reveal themselves. So it sounds very similar to this movie, The Sound of Falling. Let me pull that up because I want you to look at this poster. I wasn't sure what it was going to be going into it, just because I saw this poster and I was like, that looks so like creepy. Just the girl staring right at you. Here, let me link you to the Letterboxd page of it. Just look at this. Look at that poster, and the girl is like, ooh, that's so evocative. That's so weird looking.
Oh, I've seen this. Very spooky.
Very spooky, yeah. So I'm really digging that. La Bola Negra seems like it's trading along similar thematic lines. I'm very excited for that. And yeah, just like the genre stuff. The Clayface looks very interesting. Have you heard of Primetime? Do you know what Primetime is about?
No, I don't think so.
So Primetime is directed by Lance Oppenheim. He did. He's done a lot of documentaries for HBO Max the last couple of years. One called Sperm World, and another one I really wanted to check out called Ren Fair, which is about a guy who owns. It's
called Sperm World.
Sperm World. Yeah. Let me. I think it was one of those like somebody. Well, let me look at the synopsis. 3 men enter the new Wild West of baby making. Online forums where sperm donors connect with the hopeful parents, but find themselves exchanging more than just genetic material. So I'm not sure what there's probably a twist in there that they want to hide from the synopsis, but he did that one. He did one called Ren Fair, which was about a guy who owned a Ren Fair. Like he was like the owner of it, but he was also like the quote unquote king, but he actually acted like that in real life. Seemed very interesting. But this one, Primetime, is a narrative drama starring Robert Pattinson, and he's playing Chris Hansen. So it's a dramatization.
Oh yeah, I've seen this.
Yes, yeah. This looks fascinating. One reason because it's starring him, and also Phoebe Bridgers is in it. Phoebe Bridgers is in it as well. So she's putting out a new album this year, which I'm very excited for. She has a new single out called Lost Boys, which I really enjoyed quite a bit. I think Lance Oppenheim directed the video for that. It was a very good video. I highly recommend people check it out. So yeah, some things we are looking forward to coming later this year.
yeah. Some things to look forward to in the second half of the year. We'll see if they make it onto our best of the year lists.
I would assume so. Speaking of end of year lists and end of year thinking, I do want to also do a little bit of a way too early Ask your predictions, which is something a lot of people have been doing. So I like to get your predictions, get your theories out there. I have an article here from Variety who put together, what they think will be. Let's just go through the big ones. The best picture. Right now they have, the big ones we've heard of: Fjord, Dune Part 3. Like I said, La Bola Negra. So they put Michael on here, which I'm like, well, that's a dark horse. That's a very dark horse pick.
Those music biopics always do well with the Academy, though.
They tend to. You're right. They have the Odyssey, which is probably going to get on there. A lot of like actual, not genre stuff, but like kind of schlocky stuff, like Project Hail Mary, Social Reckoning. I'm really...
Excuse me, that's not... show some respect to Project Hail Mary. Yeah. Sir. That's a fucking great movie.
Well, I just mean compared to like Fjord and compared to like the debut, like very serious. All right,
it's prestige. Not as hoity-toity and as pretentious as some of the stuff on here.
One thing I haven't really heard anybody talk about, and I don't think I've mentioned it to you either, is the new Martin McDonagh movie, Wild Horse 9. Are you jazzed for this at all? Have you seen the preview for this?
I am very jazzed for it. It looks fucking hilarious. Yeah. I love McDonagh. Yeah. I'm a really big fan of his. I've loved all of his films. So I'm very excited for this movie. It's definitely one of my most anticipated of the year.
As is mine. So just rounding out their possible Best Picture list here, they have The Social Reckoning, Wild Horse 9, Michael, Fjord, and the debut, which I haven't really heard too much about. I'm not actually sure what it's about or who is directing it. So let me pull it up. We'll find out in real time. So it's written, directed, produced, and... not starring, but written, directed, produced by Jesse Eisenberg. So this is follow-up to... what was the last one he had out with him and Kieran Culkin?
The one where they're like, it's like a train and they're looking for their grandma.
Yes. From, I want to say like a couple of years ago. I really enjoyed it. Let's see. The movie he directed and wrote was called A Real Pain. Yeah, a very good movie.
Right.
Yep. So this is his follow-up. Stars Julianne Moore, Paul Giamatti, and Halle Bailey. So it should be interesting. Ariel herself. So yeah, those are their possible nominations for Best Picture. Best Director, they have... let's see, Christian Mungiu for Fjord, Martin McDonagh for Wild Horse 9, Jesse Eisenberg for the debut, and Javier Ambrogi for La Bola Negra. Actor, they have this, similar people from the movies we mentioned. Tom Cruise for Digger. I'm really extremely curious what that movie is even going to be. Have you seen the trailer for that?
Yeah, I have not seen the trailer. I'm very interested to see what this thing could possibly be.
Extremely interested. So the rest of the list, actress is just made up of from the Best Picture nominated stuff. So again, it's way too early to picture the stuff, but just right now, what we've seen and what is out there, this seems like a pretty good hypothesis for what we're going to be seeing in the Academy in the award season.
Yeah, it seems like pretty good. You never know with something like this. People thought that Cats was going to win some Academy Awards, so you never know at this point. But seems like hindsight's 2020, but seems like a smart pick for now.
Absolutely. So with that, let's get to what we've been watching. For the first time in a couple of weeks, I didn't actually go to the theater. There was literally nothing out that I wanted to see other than Minions, but I wasn't going to, traverse the freaking an hour just to go see Minions. I'm sorry, Minions. I heard some good things. I'm not gonna check over to all of them just to see that one movie. Wow. Yeah, I know.
Minions. I know. Upset with you, Damian.
I know. And let me just say this while I'm thinking of it. So nothing out this week. 4 things next week, and then only the Odyssey is coming out the following week. Guys, you gotta space this shit out. you gotta look at the calendar and be like, oh, okay, we don't have anything the week of the 4th. We have 5 things the following week, and we have 1 thing the week after. Like, come on, give me a rest. I can't.
It's all about what is trying to compete. They're like, okay, we'll avoid the Odyssey. Moana and Evil Dead Burn probably don't have a lot of crossover next week, so I see what they're doing. It makes sense to me. But I mean, I guess it could be the studios are not going to collude that much when it comes to their release dates, I think.
I suppose, and we'll get to it when we talk about what's coming out. But yeah, there's like 5 things I want to see next week, and I will do it. Like I'll sacrifice my body for the art of this, for the love of the game. But it's just I don't have to do that. All right, what we've been watching. Last week I checked out Jackass Best and Last. This is a follow up to the one that we all thought was going to be the last one, Jackass Forever. Really enjoyed Jackass Forever. This one was weird. This one is actually very strange. Have you seen this film?
I have not.
No. And
I like all the other Jackass movies. I've seen all of them so far except for this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the Wikipedia. I don't know if I want to spoil it for you or for listeners, but the first thing you see,
Johnny Knoxville dies.
He's dead. He's gone. It's his ghost. His reanimated corpse has been doing the press for this movie. the first segment of this movie is from 1998. It's the first thing he ever shot. Like, it's pre-Jackass, so it's like him going out with Jeff Tremaine, just shooting some footage, and it's one of the most wild things I've ever seen. So I won't ruin it, but just people to know, this is like a mix of old stuff and new stuff. A lot of old stuff, actually, and not too much new stuff. Not too much like I get it. They're old. They're like 50. They're like in the early 50s. They can't do the same thing that they've been doing. But it's just oh boy, it's a lot of poop. So they swapped out the dangerous stunts, the stuff where they're slamming into each other. They can't do the violent stuff anymore. So they substituted all the violent, high velocity stuff for dick stuff and poop stuff, which is fine. I'm not above that, but it's not the same. It's not the same Jackass that we've grown to love.
They've been destroying their bodies for 25 years.
Yes. So it was good. It was good. You go into this thing, you pay your monies, you get your money's worth. You know what you want, you get what you want. So yeah, go into this just knowing that there's a lot of diarrhea in this one specific stunt, quote unquote stunt. So yeah, it was that.
All right. I mean, I grew up with Jackass, like it was a show that I watched on MTV when I was like 10, and I was like, this is the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. So it's been with me for a long time. So I do want to see this at some point. And the last one, was the first time I saw like a movie in a really packed thing after the pandemic. So it was really great to be in a theater laughing with people again for the first time. And I'm sure this one will be interesting, the nostalgic end to an era of jackassery.
Yes. Let me do a couple more, then we'll go back to you. So I started off my trek down the Palme d'Or winning films. Just like with the Best Picture winners, I've seen pretty much all the Palme d'Or winners from the last 7-8 years. So I started with the winner for the let's see, is it 2017? Yeah, but the 2017 Palme d'Or winner, the Square. I'm sorry, it came out 2017, so I'm guessing it won the 2018 Palme d'Or. This is from Ruben Östlund, one of 5 directors, I want to say, in history that have won the Palme d'Or twice. He won for this, and he won for Triangle of Sadness in 2022. But I having seen that, I checked out the Square for the first time. This is really interesting. This is I said in my Letterboxd review that this is a movie that I really would dread seeing the discourse about this movie now, because it is one of those movies where, as you're keen to say, it treads along those lines of being too cute by half or too clever by half, because it is essentially about an art museum sort of director dealing with a lot of personal stuff. The movie is very much about just him getting his wallet stolen and him trying to get it back, and about how him and the country are seen as these high awareness, high progressive, very, aware, culturally aware and class aware people. But then when push comes to shove, what are you actually going to do? Because he has his wallet stolen and his phone was stolen too. That's why he knows where it is. So he goes to this housing project, and he prints out these flyers and puts them in all the doors and says, if you stole my wallet and my phone, just give it back. No questions asked. Just bring it here, blah, 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 blah. One of the doors that he puts it in is from this kid, and he's like, hey, fuck you. I didn't steal your phone and your wallet, and my dad thinks I did, and he beat my ass, and he's really mad at me, so you need to come back and apologize. And he's like, no, I won't do it. And it's just this whole long, convoluted thing. On top of that, it's also like this parody of high art and modern art and all of this stuff, where one of my favorite bits from it is, so they have this exhibition, which is just I want to say like a dozen piles of dust or piles of dirt or whatever. And at one point, the director's assistant comes to him and she's like, sir, we have a problem. One of the janitors scooped up parts of the pile and we don't know where it went or how to put it back together. And he's like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're just going to take some dirt from some other place and just put it back and try to put it back as quickly as we can without telling anybody. She's like, what? She said, we can't do that. It was an art piece. It's a statement. He's like, no, fuck that. It's just dirt. just put it back and nobody's going to know. So yeah, it's very interesting. Like one of the, if you look at the poster of this, it's about a guy, the poster of a guy. I want to get the actor's name because he's in a lot of the Planet of the Apes movies. He is probably second best or second known guy next to who's the guy that does all the stop motion stuff, the motion capture? Andy Serkis. So him and Andy Serkis are responsible for a lot
Toby
of.
Kebbell?
No, this guy's name is Terry Notary. Let me pull up his.
Oh yeah, I've met him.
You've met him. Oh, interesting.
He's the guy he's the motion capture guy, but he's also he's a physical performer, and he basically trained all the other performers how to move like an ape.
Oh, interesting. Was he at the pop up we went to?
He was, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, you were there.
He was that guy. He was that guy. Oh, interesting. Okay, so he was. Yeah. So he is in the big set piece of the movie. I mean, I won't. It is what it is. Like it's what's on the poster. So the exhibition or the art piece or whatever is him coming into this, gala dinner. Everybody's in talks. Everyone is drinking, champagne and being all hoity-toity. And he comes in, he's just like acting like a monkey and just walking around and pushing people and spitting at people and yelling at people. And he starts Dominic West is sort of the main actor in it, and the thing I took away from it was like this very interesting meta commentary of like, these two guys are actors, but they're also like characters, and it's like what is a performance? Like how far should a performance go? What is consent? What is touching? I'd be very interested to know how this was choreographed. Like how much did he choreograph? How much was the pushing? How much was the spittle? And how much of the stuff did they actually, design out, and how much was it actually in the moment? So that was kind of an interesting way to just thinking about processing the art of it. So yeah, the artifice of the art piece. So yeah, very interesting movie, The Square. It is on Hulu right now.
All right. Well, sounds very interesting and a little bit pretentious, probably funny. And I will say real fast, it would be the 2017 Palme d'Or because it's not like the Oscars where they award it a year later. You do show all the movies at that festival, and then you pick the best one at the festival.
Yeah, gotcha. All right. So yeah, that is The Square. Good. It's worth seeking out.
All right.
Yeah. So you checked out Minions and Monsters. This is the one I did not check out this week. Tell me what you think of this.
This movie was unironically pretty great.
Nice.
I was surprised how much I loved this Minions movie. It was also it's a lot of fun. I like the first couple Despicable Me movies. I think this is probably the best one since at least Despicable Me 2. I don't like the first two Minions standalone spin-off movies. I think the Minions are usually best when they are a supporting characters. But this movie really utilizes them well, and also decides to be this like love letter to early cinema. The movie opens with this montage of all the like early days of cinema, like from Earth to the Moon, and like the factory worker, like you see the Minions walking out of the factory of the Lumiere brothers. That's how the movie starts.
Yeah.
And there's like, you're watching the movie and you're like, there's like Chaplin stuff happening. There's like a Citizen Kane reference, and there's this whole Letterboxd list of like all the movies that were inspired by Minions and Monsters. So it's like Babylon, but the fucking Minions are in it. And there's like all these other like these like little things, there's this director character that is played by Christoph Waltz. His name Max, so you're like, oh, that's like a Max. He's like a very classic like director with like the little hat and the like little monocle. So I'm like, okay, that's very much a Max von Stroheim reference, and it's just this beautiful movie about movies, and I was not expecting that from the Minions of all places, set in the 20s. As sound is coming to the movies, that's another big thing. It's like the Minions become popular for a second, but when sound comes in, just like in Babylon, it's like, or like, the Artist or something like that, it's like, oh, well, this doesn't work anymore. The Minions are speaking this weird language. They've fallen from grace. But there's all this stuff about like kaiju movies and monsters, and there's this like love story between this. It's like the best love story in an animated movie I've seen since WALL-E, where there's this like robot guy who might be a robot alien, or he might just be a weird cosplayer, and like between him and this suffragette, because there's this whole like subplot about her trying to like, there's the whole thing about this Minions movie about like women trying to get the right to vote, and it's a lot of fun. It's interesting because it's technically, I guess, not the same Minions that worked for Gru. They're like, oh yeah, there was this other group of Minions that like, there's multiple tribes, and this is what these guys were doing. there's also a minion that is named Dick in the movie. So there's like they keep being like, "Ah, a dick," and he sucks. Like the minion, who they're like, "What can we name this minion who fucking sucks?" Who's got? It's funny because he also has like a fucking comb over, and all the minions have like 5 hairs, but his are on like one side of his head, and it's just like I'm like they gave a minion a comb over. He sucks, and they named him Dick. This movie is fucking cinema.
That's awesome. Yeah. I might check it out. Like I said, there's like 4 things I got to see this coming Saturday, so I probably won't be able to fit it in. But yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yeah. I just got off work one day. I was like, I'm going to go walk over to work. What's playing? I'm going to go see the Minions in 3D, and I had a blast.
Oh, you saw it in 3D? That's cool.
Did. You got to see the Minions in 3D, coming at you with their bananas and whatever.
Yeah, that's awesome. I saw some behind the scenes stuff of making this. I think Trey Parker's in this, right? As a voice?
He is. It's a really stacked cast in this movie, honestly.
That's hilarious. All right.
Jeff Bridges plays like a double part. And it's funny because he plays like twin brothers. And one of them he's doing the like, "Oh, hey, it's me, Jeff Bridges." And the other one he's like, "I'm the grumpy, true grit Jeff Bridges." Like, you're kind of like, wait, are they both him? Because he's doing his 2 different voices. It's fucking so fun. Zoe Deutsch plays like is the suffragette, and what's his name? Not Andy. Jesse Eisenberg is like the robot guy Dort. It's like Allison Janney is kind of like in this framing story. George Lucas has a cameo as himself in the beginning.
That's really funny. Jesus. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll definitely try to make some time for it.
They finally made a Minions movie for the cinephiles. So. And there's also deaf representation. There's like a deaf minion in this. I'm like,
wow.
Or a hard of hearing minion. I'm like, why is this movie so good? They had no right to make a Minions movie that was this much fun.
That's really funny. That's fucking amazing. All right. I got to go on a little run here because I got seen a bunch of stuff, and I saw some stuff that I want to talk about. I forgot to put on my list. So let's start with Penda's Fen. This is one of my Letterboxd shuffles that I forgot to watch the other week, and I made it for it. Yeah, it's really good. It's like an 86-minute what do you call it, folk horror film. So it's on YouTube right now.
That's your jam right there.
That is very much my jam. Yeah, it's on YouTube right now, 86 minutes. Can't go wrong with that. Let me see. Where was I? See, Tourist Trap was my other assignment from the other week. I did not like this film very much. It's very similar to The Prowler, which I watched like maybe a month ago now. Movies like this that are made on like $300,000 budget, which is what this movie was made on. I get you have to cut corners and you have to like reuse. You have to reuse sets and you have to reuse a lot of stuff. I get that, but just very like so many scenes just slow, monotonous scenes of like dark rooms. Can't really see anything. That's the other problem. I couldn't see anything half the time, so could probably skip that. I've heard good things about it, but not a fan myself, unfortunately. Movie I was a fan of, though, and it's on people's top 10 lists of the year so far, is a movie called Blue Heron, directed by Sophie Ramvari. It is, let me see, background production. Let me pull up the synopsis. This movie is kind of like, what was the movie? After Sun? Remember After Sun from a couple of years ago? So yeah, it's very much like that, about memory, about like, it's basically about little kids growing up in a kind of not a broken home, but a messed up home. So synopsis is: in the late 90s, a family of 6 settles into their new home on Vancouver Island as internal dynamics are slowly revealed through the experience of the youngest girl, Sasha. Their fresh start is interrupted by the increasingly dangerous behavior of Jeremy, the family's oldest child. So Jeremy's like wasn't adopted, but he was the son of like the mother, and mother had a relationship with somebody else in the previous marriage. So he's kind of like the outcast. He's kind of like the black sheep of the family, and he's very quiet and he's very destructive, and just doesn't play well with the other kids. So it's very much about him growing up, and it's shot from the perspective of the kids living there. But then it kind of cuts forward, so it does a kind of a thing where they do in The Secret Agent, where the woman is grown up. One of the kids is grown up, and she's like a journalist. So she's going back, and I don't think she's like a journalist. She's like a family mediator, and so she kind of does these things where she's meeting with other therapists and other child psychologists, and she gives them the information about her family, and she asks them to sort of analyze and say, what would you do in this situation? And so the movie then cuts to her going to her parents' house, going back in time and being the child psychologist that actually went to their house, and she puts herself in her place and talks to the parents in a way of trying to empathize with them and trying to say, you did your best. This kid is very destructive. He's violent and he's emotionally disturbed, and you kind of did your best. So it's kind of her as a way of trying to reconcile her feelings about her childhood. So really, really good. Called Blue Heron. I believe you can it'll be streaming on the Criterion channel starting July 21st.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I've heard some good things about this. Didn't really know what it was about. So yeah, when this one comes out, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, and some other things I forgot to put on my watch list. I also checked out I, Daniel Blake, which was the 2016 Palme d'Or winner. And I was not looking forward to this because I knew it would fuck me up. I've heard many things about this, about how sad it is. So let me pull up its synopsis. A middle-aged carpenter who requires state welfare after injuring himself is joined by a single mother in a similar scenario. So this is but a guy. I looked this up, and I guess I thought it was based on a real guy, but it's kind of an amalgamation of several people. So it's about him who, he's on disability. I think he had not a heart attack, but he has health issues, and so it's one of those things. A lot of people are in the situation where you're not healthy enough to work, but he has an interview with the disability person, and she's like, well, can you walk, more than 10 feet? Yeah. Can you lift your hand above your head? Yeah. Can you type? Yeah. Can you talk? Yeah. Well, you're not really disabled. He's like, well, no, I am though. So he's forced to look for work. And if he looks for work, he has a situation where he goes to the employer. He says, I want to work. He says, okay. Guy calls him back. And but then Daniel has to say, I'm sorry, I can't actually work. In order to, qualify for benefits, I have to apply. And he's like, well, fuck. And the employer was like, fuck you. Don't talk to me again, blah, blah, blah. So it's this whole trial and tribulation thing of trying to, manage this fucking broken ass system we're all part of, where you get just even a little bit disabled and you become just, totally at the whim of the system. And there's this one part that really fucked me up where this woman is going to a food bank, and she's just starving, and she has to open up a can of food just to eat there. So yeah, really just really fucking fucks me up, because I'm in that situation right now where I'm really struggling too. So really fucked me up quite a bit.
Yeah, no, I bet it would. Yeah, because my dad has been through all that stuff with disability and insurance and all that stuff. So yeah, I think this one will probably hit hard for me too.
Yeah, so hopefully I'll get past that, and hopefully the rest of these Palme d'Or, because I look through the list of them, and they all seem to be quite depressing, about immigrants, about disabled people, so I think the best, I was having a little bit of trouble getting through the best pictures just because how long they were, and they're all about epics and wars and all that kind of stuff. And I think this might be even worse in some ways.
Well,
yeah,
you're at the beginning of it, so
I am.
We'll see how it goes.
I was thinking about going back, so I'm basically going in reverse chronological order. I'm doing the opposite of what I did for the best picture list. So I was thinking about jumping back to the first one, which was actually Jacques Cousteau's documentary. I forget what it was called, but yeah, I think I might pop back to that first for some palate cleanser there.
Yeah, that makes it. You might need to get a little bit of a different vibe. Different vibe,
exactly. I also checked out Exit 8, which you watched a couple of weeks ago, and I enjoyed it as well. It's interesting. It seemed like a kind of experimental thing where I never played the game, but it was, you already talked about it, but, about a guy in a weird part of the subway, and he meets another guy who has a daughter, and I won't spoil it too much, but the daughter's kind of not in the same kind of loop that they're in. So it's a very interesting kind of take on sort of a Groundhog Day situation, but very, very contained. It's very, I saw a movie not similar to this, but similar concept, where it's all in one place, one location, called what was it called? It was really good, actually. I think it was all in one take. It was a time loop movie where it took place, where it was shot all in one shot. Let me see if I can look it up while you talk about your pick, or your next thing. Checked out National Treasures. Is this the first Nick Cage movie, or he has to look for the Constitution of the United States?
That is, it's like when you ask an AI and they give you an answer. You're like,
is it not? Am I wrong?
You are wrong.
Okay.
He doesn't. Right. So this is a movie that I've seen many, many times, and I rewatched it for the 4th of July. Happy semi-quincentennial out there, everyone who's listening. I wanted to celebrate America's birthday in a way that was patriotic but not MAGA. And what better way than Nicolas Cage finding the national treasure, which is buried beneath historical monuments. It's him going on this big quest to find treasure. I basically put this on, even though I've seen it a bunch of times, because you have a lot of movies, and I had not watched as much new stuff as you. But he steals the Declaration of Independence because on the back of it there is an invisible treasure map that will lead to the national treasure. So it's written in invisible ink by Thomas Jefferson or something like that.
Of course.
So yeah, as we all know, and him and Diane Kruger and very underappreciated Justin Bartha in this. Just one of those really funny or fun like early 2000s action Jerry Bruckheimer it's just a hell of a good time, and it's a way to love America without having to deal with the more problematic parts. It's just the part of America about history, and it's great. Don't worry about John Voight being in this. He sucks.
Yeah, this is one of those movies I really haven't ever checked out. This one, and
really, you gotta watch National Treasure. It's so good. The second one's fine.
Yes, the movies like this, like what was the Tom Hanks Angels and Demons?
Oh,
type
Da Vinci Code.
Da Vinci
Those
Code.
movies are ass. Those are bad movies.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah.
This is better, you're saying?
It's not even in the same league.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Apologies to that man.
No, this is a great movie. The Da Vinci Code is very stupid.
Okay.
And I think a big part of it is the Nick Cage of it all, right? It's because Nick Cage is doing that thing where he's like, this is a very silly character, but he's very committed to the bit. So he just really makes this movie sing.
Gotcha.
And Sean Bean is a great bad guy in it too.
Who is?
Sean Bean.
Oh yeah, he always is. He's always a great bad guy.
He's so good in it. And you learn some history.
I'm sure I will.
Some good old American history.
I'm sure I will. Where did you
check the Liberty Bell?
Where did you check this out at?
I watched this on Disney Plus.
Gotcha. I found the movie I was thinking of. It's called Beyond the Infinite 2 Minutes. So I highly recommend checking it out. One of those things that's probably shot for $50,000 and looks incredible.
Very nice.
Yeah. A couple of things I wanted to shout out. I checked out The Moment, the Charlie XCX film, which I had no idea what this was even going to be. Like, is it a concert film? Is it a drama? Is it a parody? It's a mockumentary, basically. It's a mockumentary in the way that, in the vein of, what's the really famous one? Spinal Tap. It's basically Spinal Tap, but with Charlie XCX, because Alexander Skarsgård plays a guy who wants to just totally redo her tour and totally has like these crazy outlandish ideas. Really, really funny. Like it's the Gen Z Spinal Tap. It's actually very funny that Charlie. I never really listened to her music. Never really knew her as a person, but yeah, she's very funny. She's very comedic. I recommend checking this thing out. It's on.
Okay, all right. Sounds good. I'll have to give this one a watch.
It's
I like her stuff,
Yeah, I mean, she seems like a normal person. Like, obviously, there's so many people like that seem relatable and down to earth, and maybe they're not. But she at least seems like she is. This is This is streaming on the HBO Max and Hulu. A couple more things. I just realized I watch a lot of shit. I was like, I don't have that many things, but I actually do. In between all of that, I've been checking out the new season of The Agency. This is one of the best spy shows on TV, one of the best shows on TV right now for my money. This is a remake of The Bureau. It's a French show from the mid 2010s. I watched all of that as well. It's one of the best. It is the best spy thing I've ever seen. Best even book. Yeah, best, it's a very, if you watch the John Le Carré stuff, like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, it's even more like down to earth and realistic because it's based on actual events and sort of, it's not flashy at all. There's no car chases. There's no shootouts. I mean, there are some shootouts, but that's not the focus of the show at all. So really recommend checking out The Bureau. And the agency stars Michael Fassbender, Jeffrey Wright, Jodie Turner-Smith, Catherine Waterston, which I've always been a fan of her stuff whenever she popped into stuff. One of my favorite working actors today, John Marjaro, was in this. Has a what do you call that? Not a who's who, not a rogues gallery, but a killer, a murderer's row of actors. Yeah, just so good, so well written, so well shot, so well acted. Cannot recommend this thing enough. It is streaming on Paramount Plus. You can check that out in all the 9,000 Taylor Sheridan shows on there. Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to do that with your life.
Yellowstone past with
1888.
There's all the different time periods of Yellowstone.
Yeah. And I was watching a 5-hour, I didn't watch all of it, but I was getting into a 5-hour video essay about how the X-Files canon actually makes sense. So I was watching that and I was like, this was good? The X-Files. I should watch the X-Files. So I watched the first 3 episodes and early 90s TV was fucking wild because you could just do stuff. You could just make an episode that just didn't go anywhere, clearly there was stuff planted and there was stuff even in the first episode that was like, oh, that's where that started. Did you ever watch any of the X-Files?
I watched a little bit. I was not religious, but I've seen some episodes.
So the implant thing they put in Scully and gives her cancer later on in the seasons is in the first episode. It's in one of the people, one of the bodies. They find it in there. So it's just interesting the stuff that they plant, maybe knowing or not knowing that was going to play a major factor in later seasons. Obviously David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson are the main 2 people, but so many people pop up in the early episodes. Seth Green plays one of these a teenager that sees aliens or is super high teenager, watches sees aliens, and they have to talk to him. Donald Logue is in early episode as one of the FBI agents. There's so many people in that show made their name playing people in that show. So really excited to dive back into that.
Right, it was kind of the end of an era of just it's interesting because it's before Lost and all these shows where there would be a real serialization. So there was recurring elements, recurring plots, but it was still a Monster of the Week show, so it's that bridge between a very Baywatch Nights type thing. Baywatch Nights is based on this, or crib this, but Twin Peaks, it does fall in the lineage of Twin Peaks, trying to tell here's a different overarching story where we're doing something. And then what would come later on with Lost and so many shows that they would just tell a more, a longer form thing. Yeah, an interesting midpoint for sure.
Yeah, like you said, it builds off of Twin Peaks and it builds off of even a little bit of Silence of the Lambs as having this female FBI agent, investigating paranormal stuff, and also it would pave the way for things like Fringe and other sci-fi and supernatural shows later on. So I'm really excited to dive back into that for the first time in a long time. All right, and you watched one more thing before our review of the week. You watched History of the World Part 1. Did the Part 2, it came out, right?
Part 2, it came out a couple years back. I'm always just why did you come out with a Part 2? The whole joke is that there is no Part 2 and it's just called Part 1. That's very funny. And they even have fake trailers at the end of Part 1. I think that they should have just called Part 2 Part 3, and we've still never had a Part 2. That would have been pretty good. But it was because of the film landscape at the time, it was a Hulu miniseries Part 2, which makes a lot of sense because they were greenlighting everything, and movies were in this format were not, comedies especially were not a thing. So they were well, this is going to exist on Hulu. But yeah, I'd never seen the first one before. And it's a anthology comedy from Mel Brooks, and as it would imply, each segment is set in a different time period in history.
Nice. What was your favorite time period?
I think so I actually watched this for a podcast called Anthological, the one we were on, that I had you on recently to talk about Vault of Horrors, and I was on another episode, and my assigned segment was the Spanish Inquisition, and I think that was by far the best segment. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's a musical. It's funny, so it's kind of addressing all this like really grotesque historical stuff, but in a way that is very palatable. I think that a couple of the other segments just go on and on and on. Like the Roman one just keeps going, whereas that one like leans into I think a lot of Mel Brooks's strengths. Just making it just this ridiculous farce of a tragedy that went on for hundreds of years.
All right. Yeah. Mel Brooks stuff, I always, that's one of the ones I hadn't seen before. I've seen pretty much everything else he's done, Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein. Yeah, definitely want to catch up with this at some point.
Yeah, it's not his best one. It's 90 minutes. There's some really good beats. There's the I say that segment and then the 10 Commandments segment, which is literally like a minute long. If that are the best ones.
Nice. All right. Where did you see that?
I rented it off of YouTube.
Oh, you rented on YouTube. Wow.
I know.
I always forget you can do that on there.
Yeah, no, it's because I was like, I watch so much stuff on YouTube and my TV anyway that I might as well just pay the $4 or whatever and watch it that way.
There you go. All right. So with that, let's get to our review of the week. What is this person's name? Craig Gillespie's Supergirl.
Oh, miss wherever you are, buddy. Crypto and I at least had each other. Honestly, I thought we were lucky. But luck, almost by definition, runs out. What can I do?
The Brickens carry the antidote on that person.
So this is part of the DCU, the DC Extended Universe. Or no, sorry. Oh, yeah, the DC Extended Universe. On Wikipedia, they have it as DCEU. I'm pretty sure they shortened it to...
So that's the old one was the DCEU. This is just the DCU. They dropped the extended. It's cleaner.
It's cleaner. I really hope in the social reckoning they do some sort of just lose something. It's cleaner. They have to. So this I quite enjoyed this. I mean, I'll let you go first, but yeah, I so much speaking of discourse, so much discourse about this thing, but we'll get into that. Derek, what did you think of Craig Gillespie's Supergirl?
Yeah, this is it's fine. Like it's one of those movies where I'm just like, I thought it was okay. Which is, like they said, there's a lot of like really toxic fandom, like a lot of it's basically the scene in the the lead into this movie to this with Superman where the angry monkeys are typing online. There's a lot of that going on in relation to this movie. Unfortunately, it did not do very well. I just think if this had been great, it might have been able to overcome all the toxic fandom and stuff like that. I think it's just a by the numbers, kind of action movie. I think it does a lot of stuff that Marvel gets dinged for about it just being kind of the color tone not being great. It's just kind of there's no moments for characters to breathe. The villain is pretty uninteresting. But Kara herself, Supergirl, she's very good. Jason Momoa finally gets to play the role that he was born to play. Yeah. It's always weird that Jason Momoa was in DC movies and not playing Lobo. You're like, he's really good as Aquaman. He's the best part of these movies, but he should just be Lobo.
Yeah.
This movie clearly is a superhero space western. It's very much cribbing on movies like Shane, but especially True Grit. The problem is, and do we want to get into spoilers at all, or should I hold off on that?
I'll hold off a little bit, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that it doesn't really understand what made True Grit good. To put it, I'll get more into it later, but yeah, and I didn't dislike it. It's good. There's never any beats to breathe. There's never that scene in Jurassic Park where they're eating ice cream and talking about life finds a way and oh, did you see the? There's nothing like that. It doesn't really slow down except for a couple flashbacks.
Yeah, this movie is fine. Similar to what we were talking about with Disclosure Day, the fucking discourse of this movie just overrode so much of what I thought about it. Similar to Disclosure Day, Spielberg teaches you how to watch his movies. I think James Gunn does as well. I think this has James Gunn DNA written all over it. Supergirl, what's her name?
Millie, Kara Zor-El or Millie Alcock?
Yeah, the character. What's her name?
Kara Zor-El.
Kara Zor-El. Yeah. So, she's not wearing a uniform a lot of the movie, which is fine. It's not, doesn't have to be doing that, but trench coat and headphones, I'm going, that's Star-Lord. Like, what are we doing here? If you're just making another Guardians of the Galaxy movie, even especially with the bad guy who is Krem of the Yellow Hills and his guys look like Ravengers. It's like, guy, can you please do some aesthetically different things? What else was I going to say? Just overall the aesthetic. I get why. The budget was probably ballooning beyond where they really wanted it to go, so I get why. Not too much spoiler talk, but just the environments look so gray, so brown, so gross. It's just like, I really.
It's trying to do the Western thing, but I don't. It just comes off as bland.
Yeah, and to a certain extent, I get it, but I also don't. Of like. Gray, bland stuff, I get is probably cheaper to do and faster to do, and it doesn't take too much, I get that, but like, damn, can't you just put like some different colors, different clothing, different things, like make it look like a lived-in place? None of these places feel real, and just aesthetically, it doesn't look great. And it's always that weird thing of like with Superman, with her, with the Hulk. I get that you have to. Depower them somehow, right? Because, you had Smart Hulk in Endgame, you had to depower him there. They've done other things. But anyways, like with her here, she's depowered because she wants to get drunk, but then she's also kind of powered in a way where she's like, she beat up that one guy at the bar, even though she doesn't have powers. And I don't want to get too CinemaSinsy here, but like, man, there's just, what are we doing here if she can beat people up without her powers? Like, that's the whole thing. And then she gets her powers and she's still struggling. So it's like, what is the point of the powers? And it's just, the power scaling is kind of weird too, where I guess we'll get into spoilers a little bit. Where she's fully powered. The sun comes back. She puts on her suit, and then immediately gets hit by some arrows with kryptonite in it, which is like, come on.
They have to keep coming up with excuses.
Yes.
To cap kryptonite or a green sun or whatever, so that the villain can be any kind of threat. Yeah,
and just speaking to the sort of the fight, not really the fights per se, but the fact that her whole thing is telling, who is it? Ruthie, telling her, no, you can't kill. Killing's bad. And then she probably killed a lot of people. Like
she just murdered. She's like, don't kill this guy. I'm like, you just murdered like 20 people.
That is always the funniest part.
Don't be like
me. Yeah. Don't be like me, exactly. And then she stabs the guy. I don't know. It's fine. Like there was some really cool parts, like the fight on the bus where the space pirates take over. That was probably the best.
Little alien Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen. That was very funny. Yeah, it just felt like Lobo being here just kind of inserted him for kind of no reason. Doesn't really. Yeah,
he was clearly like, okay, you just wanted to put Lobo in this, which is fine.
Yes. I don't really have too much to say. I mean, I liked. Oh, we gotta talk about. Okay, let's talk full spoilers because we gotta talk about that music drop, that song drop where slow motion, the song comes on, which is a slowed down. We're doing the slowed down emo version of. What was it? What song came on when she's fighting? I literally can't think of it right now.
Blondie, right?
Was it Blondie? No, it was Jimmy. It was Jimmy Eat World, the middle.
Oh, that scene, yeah.
Yes, that scene. What did you think of it?
I didn't really have very strong opinions on it, to be honest.
It's a fine song. Like if I'm putting it on while having a nice little bath with some candles on, it's fine. It does not belong in this movie. That is a terrible needle drop to put in this movie. And speaking of, James Gunn, who's kind of the king of needle drops, that was one of the worst needle drops I've seen in a movie in a long time.
Why do you feel so strongly about that? Because I didn't really think much of it at all.
It's just the tempo of it, the sort of like it's a cool action fight scene, even though it's slow motion. And I get that you're trying to evoke, it's a slow down, cool, and she's trying to doing those cool stuff. That scene in this movie is kind of the cathartic point in the movie where she's finally fed up. Like she burns a hole in the side of that ship and she fucking flies out and decks the dude as hard as she can, and she's kicking ass. Like this, finally we're getting this moment where she's fully not giving a fuck and just beating the shit out of everyone you can see, and just in the background, hey, don't let yourself out yet. It's just totally pulls the rug out from under you. I that's pretty much what my whole thought on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just didn't work for me at all.
Right. Well, I mean, no, go ahead.
No, that's pretty much all I had to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like going into the spoilers, I alluded to how this is like a very Western inspired by True Grit and other stuff. Like she's very much the alcoholic, like drifter character, and then they meet a kid. And they kind of end up protecting the kid, and I just. The whole relationship between her and Ruthie did not ring true at all for me. I just thought it was very contrite and boring and doesn't work like something like one of those movies, because it's just this whole thing of you can't be like me, like that was her whole thing. I can kill a bunch of people, but you can't. Whereas to compare it, something like True Grit works because she still the girl gets to enact her revenge. She goes and has her revenge. And Jeff Bridges is in that movie, or depending on which version you watch, John Wayne is never well, don't do revenge, you'll end up like me, Rooster Cogburn. It's just she goes and gets her revenge, and it rings hollow because ultimately it is. And a big part of that is Tom Chaney, this guy she goes after, is just some kind of fucking nobody. And they could have done that in this movie. They could have had, because the thing with Lobo is he's going after these guys, but he's going after a different guy because he has a bounty on his head. And it could have just been well, here's this other loser who doesn't have a bounty on his head, who happened to kill her father, and she wants revenge, but he's just some weird, pathetic loser. And when she got her revenge, it was what was the point of even that? How do I go live my whole rest of my life? But in this, she just gets oh, well, that was nice, and I get to have my nice life, and I'm gonna go off and live with Supergirl. And then one scene later, Supergirl goes to Earth and is living with Clark. I'm well, where's Ruthie? It's just, it didn't really hang together. I like that you brought up that she kept getting depowered because they needed to find a reason for her to make this villain seem like he's intimidating when he's just kind of he's a supervillain, but she's Supergirl. She's invincible. Whereas when Superman, where they deal with that is that he is trying to stop this, he's trying to stop Metropolis from cracking into, that's not something he can punch his way out of. He does still have to fight, his clone or whatever, but he's dealing with a situation. They don't just he does get depowered for a second in the middle of it, but it's not like they keep having to do that so that Lex Luthor or whoever can be a threat. The climax of that movie is him trying to find a way, how do I get in two places at once? How do I stop this, climactic event, this traumatic event from happening? There's a lot more going on than just oh, well, we're going to fight these bad guys. And I know I'm being very harsh on the movie. There's a lot of people that are really hating on this movie and really hating on Millie Alcock, which is insane. They're on her appearance specifically, when I'm she is beautiful. She's a luminous, very, very attractive human being that there is zero chance that any of these people typing away at their computers would anyone that looked like that would ever come near them. It's so wild, and it's funny because now they're being well, the Supergirl from the show, she's so much more attractive, or the Superman from the 70s. It's the same people were saying sexist, derogatory things about the last Supergirl, or the Supergirl from the show, from the CW, when that was on. But now, that was the news, now she's being compared to her in a negative. It's insane, and I just want to reiterate the fact that I do not in any way agree with those people. Those people suck. Unfortunately, this movie was not good enough to break past the toxicity of all of that and like the high expectations and superhero fatigue, everything else that is going against it, because this movie in its opening weekend made less than Morbius.
Yeah, that's not a good that's not a good place to be.
That's not a good place to be. You never want to you would never want to do below Jared Leto numbers.
No, you really don't. Let me just pivot off some of the stuff you were saying about the toxicity of the discourse of this movie. As this movie is coming out, reviews are coming in. There's one person, I don't want to name them because I really enjoy their stuff and I really enjoy their opinions in general, but they were just going off anytime any outlet had a negative review. Anytime anyone of note had a negative review, they were just going, no, the movie's actually good. You're just ignoring all the good parts and you're just blowing up all the bad parts. And it's like, no. And just, she's just going off of like, no, if you hate this movie, you might not be a misogynist, but you're in with the other ones. You're just saying all the same stuff misogynists are saying. It's like, no, you can have valid opinions and valid criticisms of this movie because it's kind of a mid movie, and
this is the definition of a mid movie. This is a movie you watch on a flight.
Yeah. So just anybody like that person was saying, just going off and just dismissing any criticism of this movie based on the fact that, there are terrible people in the world making terrible statements about the movie based on her appearance and based on the fact that she's a woman, and just, there are terrible people with terrible opinions, but we're not one of them. So there you go. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but one other thing I wanted to mention was, Millie Alcock's very good in this movie. She's probably the best part of the movie. The problem, not the problem with her, but the problem with the best part of the movies is that the best part of the movies aren't the main thrust of the movie. The best part of the movies is with her and with David Krumholtz on Krypton, and
those are the best.
And also with David Cornsweet. So it's like
it's all the flashbacks.
Yes. It's like that quote from The Simpsons where they go, whenever Poochie's on the screen, the audience should be asking, where's Poochie? And the whole time I'm watching the movie, I'm like, where's Superman? Not really, but if they're going to show Superman, you're going to make me think of Superman, which is making me think, where is he? So it's really unfortunate that the best part of this movie isn't the main part, isn't the main narrative, isn't the part that we're supposed to be caring about, which is not great. Yeah.
Because it's the only time you have any character development, but it's character development that already happened in the past that's just informing where she's at now. There's no beats that slow down to inform her character development now. At the end, she's just like, oh, I want to live here on Earth because I killed a fucking gang, like, bandit and helped a girl. Like, but we never see how that impacts her really in the time, in my opinion.
Yeah. David Krumholtz having a really amazing last couple of years. He's in Oppenheimer. He was in Oppenheimer, right?
He was. Yeah.
He
was one of them scientists in the desert.
Yes. He was in that. He's been in a bunch of TV stuff. The Studio, Poker Face. Yeah, doing a lot of stuff. Good for him.
I was like, Krumholtz, all right. I was not expecting my Krumholtz in here.
Doing some very emotional acting while speaking Kryptonian, which is pretty impressive. Yeah. That whole thing, that whole idea of like them ejecting part of their city into outer space. Yeah. Like, well, what's your long-term plan here? Like, let's not even talk about the kryptonite poisoning the entirety of your civilization, but what's the whole plan? You're going to drift in outer space, into deep space for how long? You maybe send out an SOS at some point. Like, what are we doing here? But yeah, I give it's a strong 3 out of 5. I had a really good time, but not a great time.
Yeah, no, same for me. I gave it the same exact score. It's a very 3 out of 5 movie.
Yeah, so that's a review of Supergirl. If you agree or disagree, right into Midnight Film Society@gmail.com. Hit me up on Blue Sky, do all that stuff. All right, so with that, let's get to Letterboxd assignments. Let me go to my watch list here. Got a few things on here, and let's shuffle and we'll see what we get. We get a interesting, let's say, Hong Kong and Taiwanese movie from Edward Yang. Is he Taiwanese? I think so. Yes, Taiwanese filmmaker Edward Yang, his movie Terrorizers from 1986. An uncompromising look into urban life from the eyes of a voyeuristic photographer, a rebellious teenager, and a married couple teetering on the edge of adultery. All right, so yeah.
Right, well,
interesting looking thing. Sounds like something, he says. Go to your watch list, spin a Rooney, and let me know what you get.
All right, boom. I got, a movie that I very, very much wanted to see for a long time, and that is Guillermo del Toro's Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh, wow. I never saw that before, huh?
Never saw it. I saw bits and pieces one time in class. It was on, but I've never actually really sat down and watched it.
Nice. All right. Let's see. Terrorizers. Cannot spell. Terrorizers. And yours was Pan's Labyrinth. Yeah.
One of Del Toro's first big hits.
Yes. Labyrinth. Something. Words. Labyrinth? I don't know. I can't spell shit. Let me see. Labyrinth. Pan's Labyrinth. Let's see. Did you ever see his earlier one before that? What was the one called? Kronos?
I have not seen really any. I don't think I've seen any of his Spanish language stuff, unfortunately.
Interesting.
So I have not.
Very good stuff. All right. So we're doing that next time. And for next time, like I said, it's either feast or famine these days, because this week I had nothing. This coming week we have 5 things, including Sebastian Wienek, Evil Dead Burn, third movie in this Evil Dead Rise series. Is this the third one or second one?
This is the. I don't know if it's a direct sequel to Evil Dead Rise. It is the first one since then, and then before that was the Evil Dead remake about a decade before that.
Fede Alvarez's.
Then there was the Evil Dead trilogy.
Yeah. All right, so we got the Evil Dead Burn. We got Moana live action, which literally no one asked for, but we're getting it.
Right. I'm like, aren't they still making a Moana 3? Like that series is still a current series, and we're remaking it already.
It was going to be a current series, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to make a movie." Like, wasn't there another Disney live action or Disney something that was going to be a series, when they smushed it together into a movie? I don't know. I think
I know that's what Moana 2 was, and that's why I think we're still going to get a Moana. I think there is in production a proper Moana sequel that is just going to be on its own. It's going to be Moana 3, but they do that. That's a thing that Disney does sometimes when and it used to be just they would do it direct to video, but they were like, we got to make the money for Moana 2.
Yeah. Next up we have a movie called Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass. Almost said Sex Pest.
Oh, this one, Zoe Deutsch, right?
Zoe Deutsch, yeah, one of the best names out there. I like her a lot, actually. Been a lot of stuff I liked.
She's in Minions and Monsters.
Oh, shit. So this stars Zoe Deutsch, John Slattery, Ben Wang, but it is written and directed by David Wayne, written by Ken Marino, 2 of the State guys, 2 of the Wet Hot American Summer guys, role models. They came together, so we're a big fan of the stuff they make. So I'll be checking that out. Third up, right? Is that the third one or second one? Fourth up, we have The Invite. Again, this is one of those things that have come out like everywhere. The big cities, I should say. Chicago, LA, New York. It's been out for a while, but it's coming to my neck of the woods where we don't have any culture. Olivia Wilde's The Invite stars her, Seth Rogen, Penelope Cruz, and Edward Norton. Very excited to see that, because I've heard many, many good things. And a possible fifth movie I'll be seeing that day is My Neighbor Totoro. This is where they're at with this year's Ghibli Fest. So I possibly will be checking that out as well.
Very nice. Yeah. Should be. It's exciting stuff.
It's a packed.
It's a good movie. I love when they do the Ghibli Fest. You get to go see all the, these some of my favorite films up on the big screen again. Like Michael B. Jordan be like, let me see Princess Mononoke in the IMAX.
Yeah. Following week, the big one, one of the big ones of the year, The Odyssey, Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. We see this in IMAX. Really, really excited for this one.
Yeah, no, I am obviously excited for this as well. It was on my most anticipated movies of the year list, very high up. It's also high up on my summer movie wager. So I think this movie is going to do very well, and people are going to enjoy it probably based on how much it had already sold out theaters around. I think it's going to do very, very well.
Yeah. Like I was saying before, the day they came out, I think they had, AMC's servers crashed, Fandango's servers crashed. So I was only able to. How did I eventually get to it? I think I had to go directly to the AMC theater and just buy them directly from them. I think that's how it went. How much were the tickets for the? Did you already get the tickets for the?
Yes.
For the City Walk? How much were they?
For me, $0 because I have the AMC pass, but I think it was like $25 or something, or $28 or something like that.
So that's a big plus AMC pass has over Regal, because I think IMAX, even Limax, I think you have to pay us like $7 for Limax. But I don't have AMC Plus or any of that. Yeah, it's called AMC Plus, right?
Yes, it's AMC Stubs, and
AMC
so
Stubs,
I guess it would be the A-list is what it is.
A-list, yes, thank you. AMC A-list, yeah. So I didn't have AMC A-list, so I paid the full price for AMC A-list, $35 per ticket. So,
oh wow!
It's crazy.
Yeah,
most expensive ticket I've ever paid.
It's nice to be an A-lister.
It is nice.
They do not do that Regal upcharge bullshit.
Nope. So I think it'd be worth it though. Once in a lifetime experience, I think.
Yeah, there you go.
So, nothing really coming out. I have some stuff on here. It's like schlocky, straight to video horror movies the same week. So there's really nothing else out that week. So let's get to our plugin, Medium Substack. Check that stuff out. I might start importing over some of the reviews I've been doing on my Letterboxd to my Substack, so check it out there. But my reviews are still always at Midnight Film Pod on Letterboxd. I haven't really checked recently. I haven't been doing too much following back, so let's see where I'm at with my follower count. I'm at 2,620, so 80 away from 2,700 followers. Midnight Film Pod on YouTube, Spotify for podcasters. Go to Discord. I am Punk Trash on all the Discords. And like I said, check out my TikToks. Been making a TikTok pretty much every couple of days, putting stuff out there, doing recommendations, asking for recommendations. So yeah, follow me on the TikTok. Derek, what you got to plug?
My plug is the Underrated Movie Podcast, where I discuss films that are underrated, underappreciated, and ones that have flown under the radar and passed most people by. You can listen to that by just typing in Underrated Movie Podcast, however you're listening to this, or going to underratedmoviepodcast.com.
Very cool. Always good chat with you, sir. Been a good episode.
Likewise.
Okay, and for Midnight Film Society, I've been Damian.
I've been Derek.
And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.